All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Well, my name is Adam Frank Jr., 213548.
All right, Mr. Frank, my name is Brennan Kelsey. Along with me is Ms. Bonnie Jackson and Ms. Cheryl Renato will be your panel. I'll explain the process to you. We'll read some information to the record, have a parole interview, ask you some questions. You can respond at the end. You can make a statement. We'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Adam Frank, DOC number 213548. You are a fourth class offender. Parole eligibility date 1/30/2024. Full term, good time 12/7/2059. Full term 10/28/2069. 65 years for armed robbery. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you answer Ms. Jackson's questions, please?
Hi, good morning, Mr. Frank. How you doing?
I'm all right. Same to you.
I'm good. I'm good. How old are you, Mr. Frank?
53.
And how much time have you actually served on this crime?
20 years and probably 8 months.
Okay. So you were in your early 30s when you were arrested for this crime?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about how far had you gone in school?
Graduated Xavier University. I was attending civil engineering and computer science
When did you graduate from Xavier?
in 1988.
Did you provide us your documentation of that?
It was supposed to have been in the records, but I left New Orleans right after that.
Mhm.
It's like complicated, really. It's just a lot of things transpired through
Okay.
high school and graduation.
All right, well, what happened between the time you graduated from Xavier and the time that you committed this crime? What were the things that happened? Got you so far off track?
Well, I left New Orleans at the time and moved to Opelousas because of a dispute between my parents. And I started jobs in Opelousas to whereas friends had got me caught up on another situation, and I
Okay,
wound
what kind of jobs did you start in Opelousas?
well, I used to work for Arthur Small Construction and Walmart at the time. But
What
then
about, okay, but I'm confused. Why weren't you using your degree from Xavier?
actually, it was because of the family. My mom, she was in a bad situation. By her and my father, the way the situation was with them, she was real abusive. He was abusive to her. So she was actually really sick, and I had 2 other little brothers with a sister. And with the divorce being kind of weird, like when my father ended up with my sister and my mom ended up with my little brothers, and my mom was actually really sick. She almost died having the younger brother in the hospital. So I had to wind up putting my life on hold to try to take care of the family. And then dealing with friends, got caught up in a situation to where I ended up with a prior conviction, basically on the same thing. Then when I tried to get my life back on track, other things happened.
Okay,
And then
okay, let me just show you what I have. In 89, you had conviction for 2 counts of burglary. In 1991, you had conviction for burglary of an inhabited dwelling. In 1999, a simple escape, along with another charge. So, I mean, why so much criminality? What's going on?
it was the association with the friends trying to provide for the family. And it's, like I said, it was real complicated for me back then, being young and growing up in an abusive family, really.
Well, tell us what happened during the robbery that you committed? What happened? How'd you end up doing that?
Well, the circumstances to the robbery, the guys supposedly had went in the store, but they had supposedly walked to the store. As far as
What guys?
my two co-defendants.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Well,
interested-
from the victim,
Okay, I'm more interested in
Ma'am?
what you did as opposed to what your co-defendants did. Tell us what you did.
that's the problem. I didn't do anything because the victim testified in the records at trial.
Sir, you got convicted. You got
I
convicted.
understand that.
If that's your story and you want to stick with it, that's okay. We'll move
You
forward.
asked, the question was my participation.
Mhm.
I didn't do anything.
So how did you get convicted?
I got convicted on the testimony of a co-defendant that contradicted the testimony of the victim herself of the actual events that happened. And the victim clarified that I was not present at the scene. She didn't see me, nor did the assailants leave in the vehicle, as was said by the co-defendant.
Again, obviously there was sufficient evidence that a jury of 12 people listened to it and found you guilty.
The testimony of the co-defendant.
Again, it was sufficient in their mind to find you guilty. So tell me how you spent the last 20 plus years, because I only see one program. And that was in 2011. That was Cage Your Age.
That's because the circumstances with the parole hearing came up. They kept telling me that I wasn't, I couldn't participate.
Stop. Okay. So you're telling me over the last 20 years, you were prevented from participating in any program. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't understand that because we've had a ton of people today who've been in prison longer than you have and with life sentences. You don't even have a life sentence, and they've completed tons of programs. One of our parole panel members is a former warden, so she's got a whole lot of knowledge about how DOC works. And for you to sit there and tell us that you were not allowed to take any programs except that one program in 2011 doesn't ring true. And even if that were the case back then, certainly within the last several years, there have been adequate opportunities for you to take programs, and you've not done so. And so why is that?
Because they kept telling me I would be put on a backlog list. And just recently, due to the new act that passed, that made me apply for the 2045 Act, they put me in the backlog list for the programs, which right here, I'm already started the last 3 programs that were required, 100 hours, thinking for a change, and the victim awareness classes. But that was only due to the letter that I received from the parole board stating that my parole date had actually been pushed forward because my original parole date.
Sir, there are people who've taken programs who didn't have even have parole eligibility. So it wasn't a matter of when their date came up, they didn't even have eligibility.
I understand that, ma'am, but it's not my fault. It's not in my control. If the classification office tells me that I have to be placed on the backlog list. And all I can do is,
Stop talking. What's your job at the prison?
right now, I'm working at Camp J Lakefront with a Class B trustee status.
And what do you do there?
Predominantly everything, whatever needs to be done by the trustees, grass cutting, whatever required for us to go do.
Why are you only a Class B trustee?
That's what they gave me, ma'am. They said I couldn't be upgraded.
How many write-ups have you had?
I think 12 or 10 to 12, if I'm not mistaken.
14? Would that sound about right?
Probably
14?
sound right.
And when was the last write-up you had?
I can't actually remember, but I think it may be around 2018, somewhere like that.
About 2019?
2019.
Okay. And they were for disobedience and aggravated disobedience. You had 2 separate write-ups in 2019, and both of them were for defiance and aggravated disobedience. So what was that about?
Misunderstanding between me and security, ma'am.
And what was the misunderstanding?
Well, I had requested to speak to one of the colonels, and the officer in charge, due to my jacket, he felt like he was in danger of some sort of way. He tried to, it just got out of hand. That's all I can really say. It just really got out of hand. He asked me to do something, and I told him I couldn't do it because the way he had asked me to do it, and it's like he threatened me.
Okay, thank you. Warden, is there anything you can tell us about Mr. Frank?
So as far as education history, I don't have anything on Mr. Frank saying that he graduated from Xavier University. We have no education history listed. He only had anger management, which was in 2011. And basically, that's it.
Okay,
He's a minimum.
all right. All right, that's all I have, Mr. Frank.
All right, Mr. Frank, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Well, I understand the board has a duty to keep, but at the same time, I would just like to say that due to my situation, for me coming to Angola, there's a lot of rumors about my security jacket. And because of I don't know if the board is aware of the family background dealing with me and my sister is a real conflict with me because a lot of stuff was exposed to security that shouldn't have been exposed from a parish jail. And it is not in the records because they've been trying to find a paper trail, but they can't because of the stuff that I did when I was a fugitive before, you see. So it's my life is really complicated, but I was told not to really expose a lot of that because of my sister being on death row. Her case is still on appeal, and I may be a prior witness if anything happens. So it's a lot of the family background can't really be, I'm not supposed to really talk about it because it's being viewed by a lot of people. And the witness, by me being a witness, that interfere with my life and what's going on with me right now. So it's
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Now prepared to vote. Ms. Jackson.
Mr. Franks, I can't support you today. I don't think you've been truthful to us in a lot of respects. You know, our records indicated that you graduated from high school in 1988. You did not graduate from Xavier in 1988. You graduated from high school in 1988. You haven't put forth a whole lot of effort towards your rehabilitation. You've only taken one program, and that was in 2011. You just haven't given me anything to work with today, Mr. Frank. So because of your lack of candor with the board and your lack of programming, my vote today would be to deny your request for an early release.
Mr. Natsa,
I do agree, Mr. Frank. My vote today also is to deny for the same reasons.
and I vote to deny your parole for the same reasons as stated. 3 votes to deny. Good luck to you.
Thank you.